Have you ever been underestimated so badly it becomes personal? A PE teacher at my high school loved to humiliate the slow kids. He pushed people, mocked names, and once even made a classmate attempt a dangerous stunt. Years later, on a school sports day, I volunteered to ride with him up my home hill, and I paced him so perfectly he vomited at the top. That's the short version. Here's how it went down. If you love satisfying payback served cleanly and quietly, hit like and subscribe. This story is about endurance, timing, and doing justice the slow way. I was born with a congenital heart defect and had surgery as a kid. I'm fine now, but sports were always complicated. I was small, skinny, and awkward. Never the kid who burst off the line in a soccer drill. That makes you a target in PE. Teachers like to assign blame and make spectacle out of weakness. My PE guy was that kind of teacher. The classic ex-jock who elevates the jocks and looks down on anyone who isn't explosive. He once told our overweight friend to jump a trampoline over a stool. The kid hit hard and cracked his head. It should have been a red flag, but it only revealed the culture. Perform or be the butt of the joke. I learned to accept my limits long before high school. But there was one secret I kept quiet. I loved endurance. I fell in love with road cycling after watching the Tour de France. Sprinting? Not my thing. Climbing long hills at a steady pace? That was my world. Pace me and I'll outlast you all day. I trained on a nearby climb, my home hill. I knew every bend, every breathing point. I'd ridden that 12.5 kilometers, 6.9% gradient climb 100 times. Nobody at school knew. On sports day, the class busts a mountain for a hike. Our PE teacher said he'd cycle up and anyone who wanted could ride with him instead of hiking. I volunteered. He smirked. "I'm not waiting for you," loud enough for everyone to hear. He expected to humiliate me quickly. He didn't know this was my hill. He didn't know I'd paced it blindfolded. I was 17, 55 kilograms in racing kit, on a road bike. He was a middle-aged ex-soccer type, about 90 kilograms on a heavy mountain bike. Perfect mismatch. He set a hard pace on the 10 kilometers flat and tried showing off. I stayed tucked in his slipstream, never taking the front, letting him feel confident. He thought he'd drop me the moment the gradient hit. When the climb started, I watched him closely. He was pushing, but overshooting sustainable effort. Rather than attack immediately, I set a surgical rhythm. I took the front and set a pace just above his sustainable limit. Not violent, not explosive, but a steady pressure that forces a body toward the red gradually. This is a cruel art of pacing. Nudge, hold, let them think they can recover, then nudge again. After about 3 kilometers, he was breathing harder, his cadence wobbling. I eased briefly when he checked over his shoulder, then ramped up again. For half an hour, I kept him in that painful gray zone. Not broken yet, but not comfortable either. It's psychological. He's an ex-jock who believed in quick wins and visible dominance. What he couldn't handle was slow, methodical fatigue, while he burned his anaerobic reserves. I stayed calm. My legs were steady. I was dancing on the pedals, watching him deal with the consequences of his ego. Near the top, maybe 300 meters to go, I let it rip. A short, brutal acceleration. That classic humiliation surge cyclists use to finish a climb. He crumpled. No dramatic crash, no theatrics. Just the body's honest reply to being spent. He sputtered, lost rhythm, and when he finally stopped in the parking lot, he vomited. It was horrible to see, but not cruel. He had pushed people before, made them feel small. This time, everyone watched the balance shift. He was the one reduced into a raw, human moment, while the students who'd once been mocked stood around, eyes wide. I didn't gloat loudly. I sat quietly nearby. I didn't need to say anything. The image was enough. The teacher who made a career of humiliation, now paying the price in front of class. He blamed his heavy bike afterward. I kept quiet. The victory didn't need words. The point had been made. Endurance and preparation beat arrogance and spectacle. Also, there's a deeper lesson. Different bodies have different strengths. My weakness in sprinting didn't make me lesser. My endurance was real and powerful. That day, the dynamic in class shifted. People who'd once been mocked gained a quiet confidence. The teacher? He had to reckon with a limit his bravado couldn't hide. If someone's making sport into a weapon, the best response isn't always noise. Sometimes it's preparation, patience, and the quiet execution of what you do best. Let your strength speak. And if someone underestimates you because you're slow, remember, slow can be steady and steady can win the whole damn day. If you like this, hit like and subscribe for more real-life revenge tales. Drop a comment. Have you ever quietly trained to beat someone who mocked you? I want to hear those stories.